I actually think his son may have learned a really good lesson.
Don't be like dad.
Yeah, when you look at this photo and you can see him looking angrily at the old lady and this guy looking terrified and shocked and taking the ball from his own son, that kid's going to grow up and be like, when he has a kid, don't be like that.
I mean, if you look at the trajectory of some of the youth polls right now, there's a very good chance that he's going to be like very radical.
What if like
this kid is just like this is his moment of realizing my dad's not a hero. And you always realize that at some point, like my dad's not a hero. My dad's not, infallible or whatever. You realize your parents are human beings. And he had to realize it way sooner
my dad
than he had
is
to.
Literally my hero.
Okay, I believe you, Jack, but you're a special case.
But I don't even
The rest
think
of us learn that our
this
parents
kid's going to
are
grow up and
human.
be like the furthest right commentators.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, well, did you see the interview with him afterwards?
Oh yeah, I got to pull it up.
sad.
If you have it, yeah, let's play that because it's so sad, but at the same time, it's
That
so
was
telling.
what we were there for. We were there to get a home run ball. So I thought I had accomplished
Even his
this great
body
thing.
Look at the
and
body language. It's all you
putting in
need.
his glove meant a lot, and she was just so adamant and loud.
It was
and
29
yelling
seconds.
And persistent.
None of
and
them can even
I
look
just
at him
didn't
in
wanna
the
deal
eye.
with it anymore.
he can't
There
even
was
say she was mean.
hundreds of people.
She barely said anything. Said that's my ball.
She was adamant.
Does that son
and
look like he won?
loud. No.
No.
not at all. Again, and that's the catch is that I couldn't imagine. Forget whether or not like my I would consider my dad to be like my hero kind of a thing. I can't imagine as a father taking not my kid offered the ball and said all right they can have it and saying you know what no my kid deserves the ball they got it. He took the ball from his kid's hands
And he knows
and
he
gave
did.
it to
He
her.
knows what he did. Look at his face.
And
Look
the
at his
kid
face.
knows.
He knows what he did. And the line that the kid said was, "This is so amazing."
Emasculated cuck.
He said,
Sorry, go ahead.
he said, "We can't win.
Can't win.
She was going to get it anyway."
Why?
I don't know why she was going to get it anyway.
That's the lesson that
I
his
thought
father
she,
taught him.
she
Give up,
just-
son.
Yeah,
Give
it
up.
was really,
Lose.
really
Lose and accept
devastating.
the participation trophy of here's a signed bat.
the
We
pity
feel so
stuff.
bad for you. The pity
Yeah, the
stuff.
pity stuff. Who
It's all
wants the
stuff.
pity
No,
stuff?
you want to win.
Yeah.
Right? You want to teach kids to win. It's not about baseball. It is about raising the next generation. It is about how we run our society. It is about the millions of
About winning.
interactions
All
that
come
go
back to
on.
responsible men.
All the millions of interactions where some screaming liberal Karen is getting in somebody's face and a guy is terrified to just say no. And I'm sorry, but the word no is the most masculine word in the English language because we are not going to get out of any of these situations if we just can't say no to women.
Well, and you have to, and the other thing too that everybody forgets is you have all these women who, are all empowered and they're living in their power and they're
Yes,
doing all this. Yes, queen, all of this, right? But what you forget is the way that these women got like this is by being so amiable and bendable that they say yes to everything stupid. And that's how they got there. Like, well, how do you think men ended up in women's bathrooms? It's because women were too nice and cowed to say no.
And men were.
And men were, but men got coerced by these.
So Libby, what I'm
bunch
trying to
of
say,
simps.
what I'm trying to say maybe
You
is
need
that
less
women,
agreeable
maybe
women.
women need to hear men when we say no means no.
You think so?
I think what's happening is like this woman in New York on the subway is guys basically like men like this who are like, she was going to get anyway. I'm just leaving. Men are just leaving. And women are left to what they voted for, and they're upset with it.
And they're not going to help you on the
MGTOW,
subway.
right?
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, it's at least the acronym. Men
I'm
go-
just
men
saying,
go
like,
their own way.
in New York, the women are screaming, and so the guys are like, whatever, I'm leaving. And then they get the city they vote for, and now they live in crime-infested areas where...
And the women also
you
in
know-
New York, the women in New York also complain that they can't get a date.
You know what the tropes were? The man would take his jacket off and throw it over the puddle so the woman could walk over without getting wet.
Right.
The man's jacket would be ruined.
Right.
But then you started getting all of these feminist tropes of don't hold the door for me, split the bill, we don't want men involved. And what they did, what these feminists were basically saying is the chivalry they were discussing wasn't just a man opening the door or saying, I'll pay for your food. It was them saying, I will stand in front of you when the violent, murderous rapist is coming at us.
Well, but that's also
Now
part
they're saying, it's all you, bro.
I mean, that's also part of the free market of sex, though, because we stopped making the relationship between men and women about something that was supposed to involve responsibility and specific duty. And you started saying, hey, man, I mean, does it involve me getting laid? And then when you start leading a man by the wang, he'll do whatever. Again, these simp catastrophe in this country.
Yeah.
By the way, later on in that video, the guy said,
catastrophe. That's
well,
good.
I didn't want to do anything that I would regret in front of my children. You didn't regret how you ended up acting in front of your children? Are you
That's
serious?
the whole thing to regret is
I
you
think
were
he
doing
regrets
acting
it.
like that in front of your children, not standing up for yourself, not standing up for your kids, not acting like a man. That is the most regrettable thing about this whole story.
I got to be honest. Between this and the Coldplay couple, this is more worthy of divorce.
Well, because I mean, he's showing everyone that he can't take care of his kids.
He's busy grabbing his man breasts.
If you actually watch the video of the initial interaction, I don't believe the woman has been identified yet, which is
People
really,
are claiming she has been.
which is really weird because people were claiming that she had, but then like those
It
women
wasn't.
came out, and because she's so odious, those women even came out and released statements. I am not this woman. Like, please stop coming after me.
Maybe if you guys all
And-
didn't look the same. I'm sorry.
I got to be honest, guys. I
But
think
no, it's the daughter. If you watch, the daughter actually kind of squares up a little bit. The daughter shows more dominance than the dad does.
More tea.
More tea. The daughter.
I want to say this.
maybe she does. I don't know.
Between the two people, I have more disdain for the dad than the woman.
100%.
The woman was like, hey, you walked over to where I was sitting and took the home run ball from me. Now, I don't think she has an actual right to claim that, and I think she's a snooty Karen. But
A hit ball is a hit ball.
I'm just like, she walked over and made a demand, and I give that like, in terms of how severe I think it is on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being like this person is committing a violent murder, it's like a 2 or a 3. It's like someone pushes you. It's like, okay, you don't need to. It's not the end of the world. I don't care that much that she's being a Karen. I am actually more offended the dad took the baseball from his own son and gave it to her.
Of course.
So
Of course.
I agree with you guys that that's terrible, but I have the utmost disdain and horror at this woman because one thing that she's doing that you guys may not realize is she's perpetuating the middle-aged white women suck thing. And I'm so sick of that, as somebody of that age group, I'm like really sick of that whole thing. And it's just awful. And also her husband was there and he was sitting in his seat. He was like crouching down so that he wasn't being recognized.
I try not to.
And then he
More
tried
weak
to,
men.
He tried to like get out. He like scurried out and she followed him out. But imagine having to go home with this horrible shrew, this horrible, shrill,
C.S.
shrew,
Lewis's-
miserable.
I disagree.
Woman.
I disagree.
I think she's terrible.
Listen,
Yeah.
I think
the-
everything
the-
about her is
the
bad.
husband of this guy. I bet he's very happy. You know why?
Husband of this guy.
Of this lady. Sorry.
Yeah.
I bet he's very happy. You know why?
She wasn't yelling
Because
at him.
No. Because
For
he's-
once,
because
right?
he
For
got
once.
the ball.
Okay,
Because he's sitting in his car, and they go to a fast food restaurant, and they forget the ketchup, and then he's like, "I really wanted ketchup," but she goes, "I will not stand for this," and he goes, "I don't got to do nothing," and then he sits back,
That
and
sounds
she goes
like
and takes care of it.
hell. That
was
sounds like hell.
That was a John Mulaney sketch. He would talk about how he was a weak man and he's like, I have a wife and my wife won't let me be mistreated. And I was like, dude, you are like the most pathetic cuck of a man out here doing a comedy routine on it. Are you okay? Blink twice.
It's
I'm just so sick of women like
it's
this.
disgusting.
I'm so sick of it.
What this guy does is disgusting. It's not Christian, and I saw a lot of people, arguing with me that this is some kind of Christian response. I mean, where does it say anywhere in the Bible that you're supposed to disrespect your own children?
As the Baptist, I'll back you up, my Catholic man.
this?
I hear you.
I mean, it's just not there. And
Well, to play devil's advocate, what about de-escalation?
so de-escalation means like when you're about to die, or
Not at the expense of your
And you don't have any. You can de-escalate this. And by the way, there are plenty of ways to de-escalate without submitting. De-escalation doesn't mean submitting. It doesn't mean surrender. De-escalate could simply mean you sit down and you, as Jesus actually tells us, turn the other cheek. Turn the other cheek does not
Just
mean
let her scream at you while you're like, no.
Yeah, turn the other
No.
cheek does not mean submit. It means stand your ground.
Hey,
And
goodbye.
a lot of people miss this wrong. Yeah, you sing,
Hey,
you
hey, hey.
you do the look at your watch thing.
And everybody around was like, can you believe this woman?
And you just sit there. And by the way, social pressure was already on his side,
Have you?
It sure was.
which he just
Bingo.
Have
was
you guys
terrifying.
No
seen?
situational awareness.
Have you guys seen that show Evil?
No.
It's woke. It's kind of weird.
I think I've heard of it.
Yeah, but there's a scene where the main character, this woman, is with her husband, and they're in line at a grocery store when someone cuts in front of her. And she goes, "Excuse me, we're waiting in line." And he's like, "I've only got a few things." She's like, "No, you don't. You have more than we do, so get in the back of the line." And he's like, "What are you going to do about it?" And then her husband's like, "Just ignore it. Just let it go." So she goes to a freezer, grabs a bag of peas, walks up and goes, "Hey." And he goes, "Hey, lady, it's over. I won." And then she bashes him in the face with it.
With peas?
A frozen bag of vegetables, and he hits the ground. And then she walks
Peas
up and
wouldn't do it.
and she's like, "I don't know. It's some bag of vegetables." She goes, "We don't need a bag." But the funny thing is, whatever your view on that show, it's funny that the depiction is the man would not stand up for his wife, and so the wife had to do it herself. And it's very funny that I feel like there's a large portion of men in this generation that are very much like that. Now, Gen Z is starting to turn things around, but these urban liberal guys are very much the low T. Remember the Try guys from BuzzFeed?
Yeah.
I'm torn.
Their testosterone was 20-year-old guys with testosterone equal to an 80-year-old.
I'm torn on that kind of stuff because I carry a gun and I'm not going to shoot someone over a space in line.
Not with that attitude.
But the point is, like, if I go and actually try and push this guy out or something like that, that's me not de-escalating.
Look, I was in line at a 7-Eleven a long time ago. I was in Seattle, and I had like probably, I don't know, $5 or $6 worth of stuff. And there was like 4 people in line. A guy walked in front of me, and I immediately was like, "Hey, bro, back of the line's that way." And he's like, "I'll be quick." And I was like, I looked at the cashier, and I was like, "Nah. He just cut the line." And they were like, "It's fine." I was like, "No, it's not." I threw everything on the counter. I walked out. I'm not going to get into a fight with them, but I'm not playing that game.
All you got to do is just look
I
at the
hate
individual.
line cutters. That
This
drives
is
me
how
insane.
the urban right gets born. Because when you when you live in a city, there is an unwritten set of rules that everybody follows, like when you're in trains, like when you're in line, anything like this, that everybody follows, that everybody kind of gets, that, hey, if we obey these rules and we sort of live this way, and maybe there's some sharp elbows or like a New Yorker is going to say something, but, Philly too, by the way, but you all sort of abide by those rules so that you can live together.
The social standard.
In the city. This is your social standard. Mamdani, one of the videos that really drove me nuts about him was it's one of the ones, it's not just the one where he's eating with his hands, as disgusting and alien as that is. That's the real aliens, by the way. It's the fact that he's doing it on the subway. Because one of the rules of the subway is you don't eat open food like that.
No, you
especially if it smells.
It's
like
gross.
that stuff does.
And
so if this guy can't even follow, it goes back to broken windows. If he can't even follow the basic low-level social taboos to maintain the social order, how could he ever possibly be in charge of the entire city? There's no
he's
way.
probably cool with turnstile jumping too, which is again.
Which, by the way, would have prevented the murder of Irina Zarutska because the guy was a turnstile jumper.
You heard what the city council said about this. So we did a dive on what
After they cut their cake. And
yeah,
gave
that's
it out,
the thing.
right?
So there's this NPR reporter of all people that's covering the event, and he's like posting all of these things that are going on, or maybe it was the Channel 9 reporter. My producer's from Charlotte. So when we're looking at these coverages, they go to a little cake break. They come back and address the murder for like 2 minutes, and then about 20 minutes later, they start having conversations about, well, what in the future can we do to equitize the safety standard? Corporate
Equitize
speak.
the.
All
Were
that
they
kind of
really
garbage.
eating cake?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a
yeah.
chocolate with white frosting. Oh yeah,
the
yeah,
hell?
and it's a cheap
It was
bundt
like,
cake too.
Yeah, it was a bundt cake, right?
Yeah.
You mean like a
For
little
someone's
grocery store
birthday.
cake?
Yeah.
Oh,
A council.
Before we
person's
talk about the
birthday.
woman brutally murdered by a man that was released from jail several times, let's have some cake.
First from Marie Antoinette's classics. But no, so they get to the end of this council meeting and they ask, well, what if we closed off, like put some fences up and closed off the train stations so that only people who paid the fare could ride, because he not only jumped the turnstile, he also didn't pay a fare on his bus to the train station. Wow. So they talk about bus fare, then they get
Well,
to
in
the
New
train
York,
section.
that'd be okay because Mom Donnie's going to make the buses free.
And that's when the head of the CATS train system says, well, we don't want to put fences up because I have, and I quote, equity concerns, end quote.
That's such bullshit.
But it is, but
Real quick,
Trash.
I lived in New York. You lived in New York. Has anybody else here lived in New York? Anybody? My favorite thing was when because I lived in Williamsburg, when the L went down for maintenance,
That was never good.
and it just ended our ability to exist in New York, because it's like
Because you weren't going to hike to the G.
yeah, exactly. There's no trains. It's if there's no L, and they were like, well, it's falling apart, so we have to shut it down. And then it was like, I guess I'll die. There's there's no grocery stores.
You wouldn't go across the Williamsburg Bridge?
You
Right over to Lower East Side?
I'm kidding, obviously, but for like commutes to work, you need to take the train.
you do.
Because you transfer from the L to, at Q
Anywhere
or
else
whatever.
on the 14th.
Yeah, so now you're riding your bike over the bridge. It was just impractical. And the train system in New York is totally broken. It is gradually falling apart. It was like flooding under the river in
Signals
some
are like
places.
100 years old, some of the
it's one of the oldest subway systems in the world.
And now
London's the only one that's older.
Mom Donnie says, don't worry, it'll be free. It's like, oh, that's going to be great. Who are you going to enslave to fix it?
Yes, he will have to enslave people to fix it, and he talks about how
Enduring farmers, maybe.
How his
there you go.
Right? He talks about how he was asked recently in an interview what he was going to do about the millionaires leaving the city and taking their corporations with them. And he was like, I'm going to show them how this is going to make a better quality of life for them too. They already have a great quality of life. They don't need more garbage from you. They don't need more homeless, crazy people wandering around where they can see them. They don't need any of that. You know, they don't need congestion pricing either. They don't need any of that. Their lifestyle was great under Bloomberg, when everybody's lifestyle was actually pretty great. I mean, even East New York was coming up under Bloomberg, and then de Blasio got in and destroyed it. Adams was like this, Band-Aid trying to fix things. He came in with like a tough on crime policy. He tried. He, took some free Turkish air flights.
So here's the thing is and we can point directly to LA for this, but it's in so many of these major cities that so Karen Bass, for example, was an actual member of a revolutionary communist organization when she was younger in a battalion that was funded and actually financed and paid for and controlled by the Cuban Marxist Party. So she was an actual revolutionary communist.
Politically sponsored.
Politically sponsored. When revolutionary communists take over these areas, the urban elite, they use the release of violent prisoners as a way to keep the populace in line, to keep the middle class in line from revolting or doing anything. And who do they go after? They go after the Daniel Pennies. They go after the people who try to rise up and do something about that because they want to try to find out where the ne'er-do-wells or where the people who might be against them are coming. And they use this as a pressure release to find out who those people, they imply pressure to see what gets released. And so the idea that all of this is just happening because, these are the unintended consequences of good intentions. No, they aren't at all. This is entirely intended. The point of a system is what it does. They want the violence. It is terrorism against the American people, a form of it known as anarcho-tyranny.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.